We're back. We are back live post-match. It's been a good night so far.
We're back or we got a Tottenham back?
Very good,
Whichever way you want to go.
First time we've done that.
Yeah.
It's quite fun, wasn't it?
Watching it in the studio.
Pizza was nice.
Launch. What'd you have?
You're welcome.
Fun, really?
Did you buy?
Was it fun?
No, I said the pizza.
Oh, the pizza was fun.
The pizza I bought Johnny was nice.
Yeah.
I bought the sides.
I didn't even notice what you guys had. What did you have?
Pizza.
We started with a bit of garlic pizza bread.
Basically, they couldn't make it in time for the game to start, so we had to order it for half time, but we couldn't wait, so we had nuggets, garlic bread, nachos.
Yeah, I mean, we went through the menu.
And then we went back for half time. So
how was watching the game in the Launch Pod studios?
He's got a good screen, that James.
Yeah, good screens.
Good HD.
Are you
illegal stream? No, it's not illegal.
Are you that superstitious that we now have to watch every game in here because we've won?
I will actually. I don't mind it. It's a nice setup.
Wasn't it?
Do that. Yeah. It was good fun.
I was a bit worried you might go a bit Kaiserslautern or
where
was the other one? Man City.
There were points.
There were chairs. James bolted the chairs down.
No, there were moments.
Sorry, for those of us too young to understand what you're talking about.
It was
what's full on Kaiserslautern, Gary?
The rage.
Were you not here?
No, what was it? Getting arrested?
Oh, we got time for the story again?
Well, yeah.
I've got to give a shout out. I'm sorry from my son has come on you Spurs from Daniel, Johnny's son. Go to bed.
Daniel.
Go to bed.
Go on, Daniel.
Go to bed. And you, Sophia, it's bedtime.
Stay up, Daniel. Sing a few songs.
You're going to say have a beer.
Have an Alco pop.
What time's bedtime at home?
We're going to come to your messages.
Daddy's out, so soon. It's party on.
Connor Thickens has said, "Well done, boys. My favourite Spurs channel. You can come again."
There you go.
But anyway, Kaiserslautern. Gary?
Stephen Carr.
What happened at Kaiserslautern?
Stephen Carr. Stephen Carr.
Yes, sorry. Okay, yes, there we are.
Right.
Okay, thank you. We were students, weren't we? We were students in Leeds, and we'd had a walk. We'd got the upstairs area of a bar in Kirkstall, and we watched the game there. And we were 1-0 up with 89 minutes gone of the second leg. 1-0 from a 1-0 home win, and Kaiserslautern. Thank you. It's a bit too close for my liking. Kaiserslautern scored 2 goals in like the 90th minute, and I was rather upset.
And what did he do?
I got rather upset. I was a bit emotional.
They needed new table and chairs, put it that way.
Yeah. I wasn't invited back to that pub. You know how we say you can come again? They did not say that on my way out.
They said absolutely not.
Yeah, no, not again. So,
should we get into it?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, how do you feel?
After
a win's a win, right?
After that pizza, a bit heavy. A win's a win.
It wasn't the best performance of the season. The difference between this game maybe and the Wolves game was that Forest weren't Wolves, basically. Actually, I think maybe going down to 10 minutes, I guess we can come onto that in a sec, but the way we started, it just didn't look, it looked like it was going to be one of those games.
You were still coming back from getting the pizzas when Son missed that chance.
No, we actually started all right. I've got no problem. And
it's different.
It was different.
Isn't it?
It was different to the Wolves game. We were better. We were more inventive, creative. We played much better football than that Wolves game. We weren't anywhere near as passive. Son should have put... When you go away from home, you see, at home, we miss chance after chance, right? And, the first 20 minutes of games at home, we're saying we should be 3 up after 20 minutes. We've created that many chances. But when you're at home, you can almost afford to miss those chances. Not really, but you know it's coming again. Away from home, in the first, 5 minutes, John? Son is, a beautiful football. Tore them wide open. And Son's got to do better. He's just got to do better and put it in the net, put us one up. And that game, that whole game, I'm convinced, is entirely different. Because once he misses that, what then happens is we still were playing well, but what killed us was we did a very Tottenham thing and started getting sloppy and making mistakes and loose passes, giving them half a chance, and the crowd gets up and they get into the game and they grow in confidence, and suddenly we're under a bit of pressure and we haven't got the control that we did, and it built and it built and it built, and it was all of our own making, all of it. And it starts with Son missing a glorious chance. It continues with Sarr misplacing passes under no pressure.
Twice.
A couple of times. And we just invited them into a game they should never have been in. And I'm happy because we've got 3 points, but it's come at a hell of a cost. Again.
Jake?
Couple of costs. So we've got, what's that? Udogie's going to miss.
Yeah, Dystopia Eats Money says hello, and then he asked how many games is Basuma banned for.
What, you mean people are actually watching?
Of course they're watching. This is the greatest Spurs pod
You said
going.
no one would watch.
I said if we lost. We'll come to the red card, of course, but yeah, it will be a 4-game ban, as Sydney Duke confirms.
So we won't see him now until February.
So we've got 4 games until he was to go anyway. 3 league games and a cup game. It depends how far Marley get. They're not the best team.
It doesn't matter because there's 4 games before then anyway, right? So he's gone.
Yeah, but whether he comes back, is he back end of Jan or is he going to be Feb?
Right.
It's end of Jan. Stop. But let's.
So he's gone.
He's gone. And rightly so in terms of the red. But let's just get back to the first half. When Johnson went off, which was very unfortunate, and hopefully he's back next week because it's another body that we won't have. We shifted Kulusevski out to the right. And we weren't sure who was going to play in the sort of 10 position, and we were bemoaning that Kulusevski had gone back to the right, but actually, no, it was his cross.
We weren't bemoaning that he'd gone back to the right. We were bemoaning the bad luck that it was like we said before the game. The first 11 that started had to win us the game because as soon as one of them went off, the whole shape changes.
And the drop down is huge.
The drop down is huge. Skip, not great tonight. Kulusevski went to the right, and it wasn't that he went to the right because he's a good winger, but he's been so good in the middle. I think he created that chance for Son in the first few minutes. He did a few other really nice bits in the middle, Kulusevski. He was dictating that game in the middle there. So to have to shift him out to the right was a blow. But the irony, of course, is that Kulusevski does what Kulusevski does, which is cut in and put in one of those balls that you were talking about the other week that we haven't seen enough of from the right, where he whips it in for a number 9's dream cross. Just be brave, get your bonce in there, and you're going to score. What a ball that was. And it was at a time...
Wonderful cross.
Just before half-time, but at a time in the game when Forest were growing and growing. And they start the second half fast, but it did knock the stuffing out of them a little bit.
Just going to interrupt. We talked to Julian before the game.
He's back on, is he?
Yeah, he's good to go. I believe he's going to join us. You got him, James? No, he's not there. Oh, right. Oh, well, we'll come to Julian in a minute.
Should we do some tweets while we're waiting for him?
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh. So we didn't do a watch along. But what we did do...
Not this time.
I didn't actually realise that he was recording.
So James was recording us. This is the reaction.
I should have realised that he was recording.
Reaction to us scoring the first goal.
Here now. I mean, it is unreal that Udogie's been booked and he's put his elbow in his mush. That's good ball. Yes! Yes! Go on, Richard! What a ball in that was! What a ball in!
Was Udogie been booked a couple of minutes before for what I would term a shoulder-to-shoulder, and the hurtful thing about that booking is it puts Udogie out of the next game against Everton.
Yeah.
What happened just before that goal was, I don't know which one of theirs it was, but he's jumped, I think it was right into Skip, and led with his elbow, and the elbow's caught Skip full flush, bang in the face.
You weren't asking for a red, were you? But a yellow, because we did.
I was asking for a red.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the point that what you didn't see just before.
Play it in again, James.
I was going nuts at the ref because I'm like, how can you book Udogie?
Hang on, we got Julian here.
Is he driving?
His son is holding the camera. He's not driving and holding the camera.
I'm not holding the camera and driving.
Listen.
He's on his way back for his 6.5 hour trip.
Yeah. Let's hope the snow doesn't come down like 1995, 96. So how was it in the away end?
I hope not. I hope not, that's for sure.
How was it in the away end, Julian?
It was good. It was good atmosphere. I mean, first half was until the goal right on the stroke of half time. I mean, the whole game really. We made hard work of it, didn't we? We did. We like to do that.
Is that what was the mood like then amongst the fans? Were they
couldn't obviously.
Oh, go on.
I think first half we just weren't moving the ball quick enough, were we? But funny enough, when obviously Cooley went out onto the right, that set up the goal for Charlison.
Yeah, we were just saying
so
that,
even though we
yeah.
missed him in the middle, it sort of created the goal, which may not have created that way. But yeah, again, another injury to Johnson. I mean, was it just a head injury?
It was a head injury,
Head injury,
very
yeah.
unfortunate. I just want to ask, Julian, could you feel that but just before the goal that we were letting Forest back in and the Forest crowd was certainly getting into the game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always a good time to score right on the stroke of half time. I was just about to text my other son, rubbish. And then we obviously scored. But it wasn't a good first half. And I'm just a bit worried about our ill discipline because, okay, Udogie was on the 4th. So if he wasn't going to miss the Everton game, he was probably going to miss the Brighton or Bournemouth game. But now Basuma, we probably won't see him till February because that's a straight red, wasn't it?
Yeah, so 4
that's
games.
3 games.
Plus 1 for the
Is
Luton.
it 4 games now?
4 games, yeah.
And it was just needless, we're 2-0 up.
It was his own mistake
really need
as well.
to do it. Yeah.
Were there any,
Yeah,
were there any nerves? Were there any nerves?
I actually thought when Holberg came on, again, he did a good job. I mean, we saw it out.
Those are the
Obviously, as fans,
situations.
we're nervous.
Those are the situations
Sorry?
for Hoy. Those are the situations for Hoiberg. I never want him starting the game, but when you need a bit of control and a bit of physicality as well, by the way, because they were brutal, Forest, with their physicality. So when you need somebody to stand up a little bit to them, Hoiberg's your guy. Like he did well, and he helped close out the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, listen, it's a great 3 points.
It's come at a cost.
I'm pleased there was only 20 minutes or so to go, and we did go down to 10 men, and luckily we were 2-0 up. Otherwise, it would have been really nervy.
Tell me, what was the reaction from the Forest fans before Johnson went off to?
It's quite funny, actually. They gave him stick, right, and the whole game, and we were like obviously on his back, cheering him on, and then obviously as soon as he was, sort of walked off, they started singing "You're one of our own."
And I don't know if you know, but his dad was in the away end tonight.
Oh, was he? Yeah, I know his dad goes and watches him a lot. I always saw him watch him a lot when he was playing for Forest.
Yeah, he was there in the away end.
So, but genuinely, I assume the atmosphere was good, and sometimes you can players feed off the energy. The fans stayed on side, I imagine, for the entire game.
Yeah, I thought Sarr had a really good game. He works really hard.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
I've got to tell you that's
interesting.
interesting.
We thought he was poor today.
Yeah.
I thought listen, you do see difference at the game. Maybe because I was low down. I just thought he worked hard. I thought Kulu played well.
He was sensational.
He works hard.
Tell
he
me,
really is a sensational player.
You say you were low down. There's nothing better for me than as an away fan, seeing the ball go in front of you. What was your view of Kulusevski's goal, and how hard did he hit that ball?
Yeah,
I thought he was going to smack me in the face and my glasses were going to break. I was literally right behind the goal, and I saw how powerfully he shot it. And
so I thought the keeper was at fault here because I think it's weak keeping, but it's hard to.
I tell you what, I know I was quite close behind the goal, about 4 or 5 rows up behind the goal, and he hit that so powerfully. I don't know. I mean, I just thought it was a very powerful shot, to be honest.
Julian, just one question. You watch obviously Tottenham away a lot as well. What do you think it is that we do differently away as opposed to at home when we start so fast and we're just relentless and intense the whole time? It doesn't quite seem to be the same when we play away.
Yeah, we always seem to start slowly away, don't we? I don't know why. Sorry, I just nearly ran someone over.
Don't do that.
It's only a Forest fan.
There's no evidence. James, delete the video.
Julian, 10 points for a Forest fan, mate.
Yeah. But listen, it's not another 3 points on the back of the Newcastle game.
Yeah.
You go into quite a busy Christmas period now, so hopefully we'll get a few back for Everton. Well, they probably won't.
We won't.
Be back for Everton,
I don't know how we get a team out against Everton.
I know, but hopefully Johnson, if it's a head injury, as long as he's not concussed, I think he should be okay for. And maybe Gio will be back.
Julian, I'm interested to know, because if you're going to most away games, you've been going and you were going under Conte and so on. This is the first time on this show that we've had a chat with an away fan and a regular away fan.
Yeah.
Going away last season, how did you feel getting yourself up, going to these games versus the feeling now? And generally, what's the ambience, what's the environment like as an away fan, and the feeling now versus last season?
It was really hard work last year.
Yes.
I went to about, I don't know, 10 away games last year. And, I went to the Southampton game and, when he threw his toys out the pram after, and we were driving back, my son and I just thought, this can't continue. And then we heard the press conference and we looked at each other and we thought, yes, this can't continue. He can't stay on now. This is the end. And so it happened. So, there's a real good feel factor for Ange with the fans. They love him. The club certainly seems a lot more united. They're not on the back of the players as quickly as they were, last season. And I think you see that at the Lane. The atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah, agreed. Julian, great to talk to you. We're going to let you drive home safely now.
See, I did predict 2-0, didn't I?
I was about to say, yes, absolutely. You did say 2-0. Julian, brilliant.
Do I get a prize?
Yes, in the post, mate. With those 3 points.
Nice talking to you
Thank
guys.
you very much,
Yeah,
Julian.
Julian.
Cheers.
Safe
Thank you. Thanks.
Take care. Thanks.
Johnny, I was just thinking of one of the worst drives that we had home, not because of result.
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
In the snow.
Semi-final.
In the snow.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to die 3 times. Is that when we left you on the hard shoulder to do a wee and drove up to the next junction?
That was on the way up. That was on the way up. On the way down,
Yeah.
it was an absolute blizzard.
Yeah.
You were driving, I was next to you. You were pooping it.
Yeah, it was like rally driver. I needed you to be my eyes.
Yeah, like literally. Brake, like it was that was scary.
But we made it.
I don't.
You're still here.
I don't remember the drive back from Forest in the blizzard. I was at that game, but I don't remember it because
Alcohol did that to you, Gary.
He was about
no, I was
15.
about 15 or 14. But my mate's dad was driving, and remember it was a long journey. But I don't that blizzard from Sheffield United.
I'll never forget
that
it.
was.
Let's just do some.
There's the first.
We'll just do
There's
some.
the first.
We'll do some messages from.
Apparently, Anne's
viewers.
saying that it was not a cut to the forehead for Brennan Johnson, not concussion.
Yeah, he's covering it straight away.
Yeah, we're hoping
He'll
to
be
have
fine.
we're hoping to have a reporter who's at the game join us.
You can actually give us the.
Yeah, so look, I absolutely respect what Kai said, and they clarified that Johnson was a cut rather than concussion. So yeah, should be okay.
Who else has written us a note?
There we go. I'm going to go through them. Lloyd Becker, so reckless from Basuma. These suspensions are surely going to cost us.
The problem with the Basuma thing, it came from his own error.
Yeah.
Again, like it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Neil, it's the age-old story. Win if you don't play well.
Yep.
I hate it while it's happening. I love it when it's over. Yeah, it's just like a bit of a roller coaster. You hate it at the time.
Especially with it's not the run of games that we have. It's just the number of it. Because I don't think I said this last week. I don't think we have a particularly tough run over Christmas. It's just games back to back, and we've got a squad that is stretched now. Everton, Brighton, Bournemouth. And then obviously Burnley in the Cup. It's just 3 games back to back. We've basically got 13 players to choose from, haven't we?
It's a weird feeling because I don't mind playing badly and winning, and we didn't play great tonight and won. And often, like, you can do that and you come away, you're like, yes, move on, 3 points. But it's the cost of the victory tonight with Udogie out versus Everton. Basuma now gone till February. And hopefully Johnson will be okay. But it feels like it's come at a cost.
It's just one from Connor Thickens, who says, actually, Alex Barragan earlier said they kept doubling up on Son. I want to come to that. They did. I think that's
Which
the way.
Newcastle did not.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Newcastle did not, and that's the way to play against Tottenham. Certainly, if you're setting in a low block like West Ham did, double up on Son.
It's probably easier to do at home, though.
You think?
To double up.
I don't think it's easy to do away.
I think if you're Newcastle, though, they're not going to sit back, are they? They're going to throw men
tactically
forward.
naive, they were.
Yeah, but that's how they play, and the pitch might be a bit bigger. I think at White Hart, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium than at Forest.
You're making that up.
I reckon it is. It looks bigger on the telly.
Looks bigger.
Do you not think though, when the seats are further away from the touchline, it makes the pitch look bigger? Like the Wembley pitch, everyone
Looks
says
massive.
It's big. Yeah, but it looks
Because of-
massive, doesn't it?
yeah.
Because the seats are so far.
Wilson T says, at times I thought we weren't brave on the ball. Mate, Gary, me and you were saying that for a 20-minute spell in that first half, our midfield was non-existent. We needed to get on the ball.
Yeah.
Forest were closing the space, but we weren't playing in little patterns and triangles.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a conversation about Basuma, regardless of the discipline thing. Since what happened at Luton happened, and going into that game against Luton, he was the main man. He was the fulcrum of everything. He was the pivot point. He was really dominating games and controlling games. There seems to have been, I don't know if it's a knock in confidence, I don't know what it is, but he isn't grabbing games by the scruff of the neck in the way that he was. And tonight, in particular, a tough away game, you need your six, the fulcrum, your quarterback of the team, as it were. I think Glenn Hoddle used to call it that. You need that man to take the game by the scruff of the neck and just say, guys, everything comes through me.
Yeah,
just give it me.
Benson Kerr would do.
Exactly. Or Modric, right?
Yeah.
A Luka Modric in a game like that, give it to me. I'll just kill the game. Give it to me.
And also, Sarr was struggling. You could see that.
Sarr was struggling.
And Basuma, I feel, needed to get hold of it. Actually, dare I say, someone like Højbjerg at that point would have got hold of the game and gone, right, we just need to get on the ball and stop this and raise the crowd. But anyway,
I'm looking at you in disgust right now.
No, but you know that, and that's what he did when he comes on.
Yeah,
but he does it so well in that scenario. He can kill a game. He can't win a game.
No, but I'm saying if he was on the pitch at that time for whatever reason, I think he would have bought Sarr and he would have controlled the game.
I do think I couldn't understand the substitution of Skip ahead of Højbjerg. That didn't make sense to me. But to say
legs probably.
I think he fancies Skip to be able to play in that higher up position more than
Højbjerg does so well for Denmark in that role.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me. Why would you bring on? Sorry, I'm not a fan of Højbjerg, but
let's go through some more. Connor Thickens doesn't think it was a red. Trying to use some genuine impartiality. Disagree. Red for me.
It's a red. It's a red.
Say again.
It's a red.
Red.
It's a red. In today's football,
Connor.
It's a red. But I'll also say it's a red for the elbow. And I'll also say, and this hasn't been mentioned, and I've already gone blank on the geezers.
Ryan Yates.
And
Wilson T said that at the top. Ryan Yates.
Right. Ryan Yates
asked 3 times. Asked for a player to get.
Right. But he went right through, and I think it was on Ollie Skip, who somehow goes onto a football pitch and becomes a punch bag, right? But he went right through in a not the same challenge, but a similar sort of a challenge to what Romero got sent off, where you've won the ball and then followed through. He won the ball, but he followed right through in a very dangerous way.
There's no consistency.
And no booking, nothing. The ref was poor. Ryan Yates was a scumbag. I'm sorry, he was filth tonight.
Yeah, he wasn't great. Romero and Sarr now on 4 bookings too. Yeah, possibly a couple of games away from Højbjerg and skip midfield. Well, we are in January.
We're in January anyway.
Yeah.
Although they put together a lovely move at the end, which could have resulted in a goal. Yeah. But I mean, it was.
Sydney Duke's still awake.
Rob Garland. Hey guys, new convert from Australia. Good day, mate. And love your show. Glad you're loving Ange too.
It must be late there.
We are loving
early,
Ange.
isn't it?
Firmly believe he's the best coach ever to come from Australia in any sport.
Oof.
Wow.
You've got Eddie Jones, who's has he won a World Cup?
He has not won a World Cup.
About rugby.
He has not won a World Cup.
That's a really big call. But yeah, I can see that. He'll make history with Spurs, we hope so.
The argument about the great Aussie cricket teams, people said they didn't need coaching. Shane Warne said the coach drives you to the game. So if you're going to think about great Aussie sports teams,
the bus.
There you go.
The coach.
Stomp City says...
Sorry, has he not already broken a record?
Ange.
Well, you're the stats man.
Broken a few records.
But
first manager to go one up in 5 games and not win them. What?
No, have we not scored in more consecutive games in the league than at any point or something?
We're closing in on the club.
No, we've scored in 28 consecutive games, but that wasn't it? That was 32, but before that obviously goes back to before.
We're closing in on but it goes.
What is the record?
32, I think.
And where are we now?
29.
Ooh,
going to come to
29 after this.
Going to read you some stats shortly.
Okay. When he gets sent them.
The Stat Zone. James, have we got...
when they come
I've got them. James, have we got a sponsor for the Stat Zone? Someone chuck some money at us. No.
Not yet.
JS, glad for the win. Basuma's been a big disappointment since we signed him.
No. Come on.
Listen, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to name this person. I was with someone yesterday.
His discipline may have been disappointing, but not his actual ability on the ball and vision and the way he wins the ball back.
Well, I was with someone last night who I'm not going to name this person because they might not want me to, but had played professionally and had interviewed Conte at one point when Conte was manager. And off the camera, he sort of said to him, "What's up with Basuma? Why aren't you playing him?" And Conte said, "He's got a bit to learn." And I'm thinking, for me, again, we've talked about Conte. Basuma may have a bit to learn, and we've seen naivety, but there's a top player in there. I said a couple of weeks ago, I think maybe Basuma was brilliant for the first 6, 7, 8, 9 games of this season. Got sent off against Luton. I think he believed his own hype a bit. He overran the ball against City. He overran the ball today, which got him sent off. Ange doesn't like to reel players in. He said it about Romero. Go and do your thing, mate. Just feel he needs to get hold of Basuma a little bit when he comes back in February and get back to what he was at the start of this season.
The thing is, Basuma is not the finished article. He does have a bit to learn, okay? But you don't learn a language sitting in the classroom. You learn it by immersing yourself in the country.
Oh, that was Cantona-esque.
Thank you. Thank you. When the seagulls follow Zatrola. But that's the truth, right? You're not going to learn.
They're like sardines.
It is because they sink to fishermen. You're not going to learn by sitting on the bench. You're not going to learn on the training pitch. You learn out there. Now, I'm convinced that this whole Spurs team, and we have to keep in mind it's a young Spurs team, it's the first iteration of the Postecoglou era. They are all learning, they're all evolving. And as long as they do learn, then okay. And you may say, well, Basuma hasn't learned because he's got sent off again.
Yeah.
But he got sent off in a very different way tonight. Like, he did. So it is all about learning and evolving. We've got away with it. Let's just hope we can get through Everton and it doesn't cost us $2.
Well, I hope Porro's not injured. Jesse Flowers has mentioned this a couple of times. Please talk about Porro limping about, rate it or not. He does do that a lot, Porro. And he definitely wound up Jamie Carragher at one point by being fine every time he had the ball.
Yeah.
And then
Sky were focused on it for about 5 minutes, weren't they?
Jamie Carragher, friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Jamie Carragher. Look back through our episodes if you haven't. Great one with Jamie Carragher before the
One of the
Liverpool
best.
game. Yeah, genuinely one of the best.
He wears that Echo of Glory T-shirt to bed.
James
I've
just
heard.
walked out.
James has left us. I want to know about Stomp City. Where do we reckon he's from?
From Stomp City.
It was a hot red.
It was a hot red.
Is he American, Australian?
Let us know, Stomp. I think it was a red. A friend of mine, not on these messages here, just on the WhatsApp, saying it gets worse every time you see it. And I disagree with the guy earlier. It's just a bad tackle and so needless. Again, it's like Romero again on Callum Wilson. We're 3 up, then we're 2 up when he gets sent off. Well, okay, here's a question. It's like the ghetto out there today.
It is.
Is there anything on Ange he needs to reel these players in? Like, the discipline is poor. We've got suspensions for reds. We've got suspensions for 5 bookings. We've got players 1 away from 5 bookings. Anything?
I think that maybe something has got into them where he wants it to be high energy, high intensity, lots of running around, pressing the opposition, and I think he wants them to have that mentality that you've got to be first to the ball every time. And when one of the opposition players has the ball, he wants 2 or 3 guys closing them down as quickly as they can, and basically not give them any time on the ball. And maybe a little bit of that.
Doesn't mean you have to.
No, I know, obviously not, but maybe a little bit of that passion and the way he wants them to go about it has spilled over a little bit, and maybe I wouldn't say the message has got lost, but it's kind of gone a bit too far the other way. The only thing I'd say about it is, maybe in the beginning we can't have it always. You'd rather at this point that they were doing everything he wants from an energy and a running and the point of view of doing all of that kind of stuff, and then maybe it's easy to rein back the other. Better this way around than the other way around. You were saying, but they don't move, they don't run.
96th minute, possibly later, Sarr on a yellow takes out their fullback.
Yeah,
I think that's a yellow, and he's another bad.
He's also still learning the game, isn't he, Sarr? It's his first. This is his first full season really playing for us, isn't it?
So,
well, he's a young player.
I'm going to throw it out there that I feel as though since that Liverpool game, we have not had the run of decisions. And I think, you take a look at Romero against West Ham, that was not a booking. And I'm not saying that we're getting harsh decisions. What I'm saying is I think there's an uneven-handedness in the way we're being dealt with versus teams that we're playing. We seem to get away with absolutely nothing.
I think all fans think there's a conspiracy.
You look at that game tonight.
I didn't think the ref covered himself in glory.
That game tonight was a disgrace. The referee, I'm sorry, was an absolute disgrace tonight.
How many you had?
I'm telling you, that was uneven the way that game was.
Look, after 75 minutes, we had 4 bookings and they had none. And
they were flying in.
You can't put it down to anything.
The only way that Forest were ever in that game was what we said earlier. It was 8 o'clock on a Friday night. The crowd's up. We've let them into it a bit. They're physical. They were really physical. How the ref has booked Udogie for that shoulder and that in the face gets nothing.
I've said this before a few times.
Just beyond. But VAR's there. It's an elbow in the face. Come on.
There hasn't been a red card for an elbow in a long time.
It just doesn't feel as though there is even-handedness in the way that we're being ref.
Yeah, I agree with Cliff Solday. You can't be blaming the ref. I think he was poor, but we have to sort out our discipline. Of course,
our discipline is a problem. Okay, I get that, and it is a problem. I think when you look at like City and Liverpool when they play that high press and they make those little fouls that stop the other team from breaking, and we're not quite cute enough yet at making those fouls without getting away with it. And I think that's what we're trying to do. I think I remember Porro or somebody did one in the first half. Forest were looking like they were going to break, brought the guy down on the edge of their own box. You think to yourself, why are you making that foul there? Then you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, this is probably a good foul, right? Clever, but we're not cute enough yet with those fouls.
I've just realised something. I've only just noticed. Gary's wearing his Tottenham
Ryan Mason top.
I was wondering when one of you was going to pick this up.
All night.
Yeah, I've been waiting. Thanks for noticing.
It's good. No, it's good.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very subtle.
It is. It's smart, isn't it?
Bed knobs and brew sticks. January window will be crucial. Yeah, we talked about this earlier.
Am I the only one that gets this name, by the way? Do you remember the film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get it.
Well, no one's commented on that.
Oh, I think there's something in the name.
He's even got the picture in his of the film in his avatar.
Loves the book. The film.
Book film. Yeah.
What would be your favourite?
Oh, it was one of. It was
hang
one
on.
of mine.
I want to stop you now. We've got another guest coming on.
Get him on. Who is it this time?
It's going to be Rob Scanlon, who Premier League reporter, who's at the City Ground, not for us. I was going to say for us. He wasn't there for us. He was there working. Can you hear us, Rob?
Yes.
Hello. Brilliant. Thank you for joining us.
Overtime.
Overtime. Send your invoice. Send your invoice to Jake Robson. Rob, thank you for joining us. Big win. We're happy. We weren't overly pleased with the performance, but from your vantage point, how did the game go? How did you see it?
Well, I thought you always had a measure of control, actually. It might have seemed chaotic at times, but there was a real cup tie atmosphere. I really enjoyed it. It was similar to this game last year, which I did as well. Same scoreline, of course. Forest had more of the ball last year, but, Spurs, I thought you had a good measure of control. Obviously, the high defensive line was a bit risky at times and a couple of close calls, but I thought he managed the atmosphere, the game really well. Even when there was a sending off, of course, responded well to that. And I just thought the defence in particular were excellent because, they really, that sort of cup tie atmosphere and that cup tie approach almost from Forest, sitting in and hoping to, really launch the bodies forward late on when they had the man advantage. There were so many set pieces and bodies on the line. I thought it was seriously impressive. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Rob, we spoke to a Tottenham fan who was at the game there. Just if you can you give us a flavour of the Tottenham fan? Did they stick with the side even though at times it looked like it was really backs to the wall kind of stuff?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was. They really contributed to the really crackling atmosphere, like Friday night under the lights here. It was really good. The start, I thought, like the first 5 minutes when I thought Spurs should have gone ahead, really.
Yeah,
Son's chance was bigger than it first appeared almost. And the fans were really sort of pretty buoyant at that stage. I think in a strange way, the Brennan Johnson injury had such a big seismic effect on the game because it kind of lifted their crowd in a weird way. They obviously gave him a real ovation as he went off. But then, of course, had he not gone off, Kulusevski wouldn't have been on the right and wouldn't have assisted the first and scored the second. That was quite a seismic moment in the game. And the away fans were in great voice. Son was geeing them up towards the end. And I absolutely loved it. It was, Forest Spurs. It was a good traditional fixture. Great atmosphere, the City Ground. Different to last year when these sides played, because they were fresh to the league, and there was that real sort of wide-eyed optimism around here. It's a little bit different now at Forest. There's a bit more expectation. They've obviously just one win in the last 13, so they are struggling a bit. But of course, you've got that underbelly of this huge groundswell of support for Steve Cooper, and again, that was the sort of last thing you hear as you head down the tunnel is the fans cheering for the manager under fire, of course.
Yeah, Robert, I'm pleased you make that point, because I was saying before the game, what makes this game an even one versus a completely one-sided game, because I felt it should have been a comfortable Spurs victory, was the Friday night under the lights and possibly Steve Cooper's last game. So I wanted to ask, how much did that factor to the game? How much did that play into it? How much did the Forest fans get behind Steve Cooper? And after this, where does it leave Steve Cooper and Forest?
So I thought that, interestingly, so Spurs, with that bright start, quietened them down and sort of had that measure of control. And then were nearly the architects of their own downfall, because they played a couple of crossfield balls that let them in, and Forest, like a lot of the teams down there, didn't punish them. And that got the crowd up, and obviously the Brennan Johnson injury as well. So they'd sort of managed it quite well. And actually, when they scored, it was sort of deathly silent. And then the second goal completely sort of killed the home atmosphere. Because all the Forest fans could see what the game plan was. If they'd have gone in at 0-0 and got it to maybe 70 minutes, they could have brought Chris Wood on and, would have done what he was doing and standing on Vicario and nudging him and stuff like that. And it may well have been something different, because they had so many set plays towards the end. So they can all see the game plan here. I think the fans can see the game plan. They didn't mind the fact that, first half, Spurs had 80% possession. It really was sort of, like I say, that cup tie feel to it. I don't think the fans mind that too much, even though they know they've got more quality here this year. But it's whether the ownership group here have got more visions of sort of, I don't know, grander plans, really, I suppose. I don't think they foresaw Forest thrashing around at this stage of the season. It's a really interesting one, because you've got someone like Julian Lopetegui, who, after leaving Wolves, stayed in the Midlands because he wants a Premier League job, turned down a job at Saudi. You've got the situation down at Palace with Roy Hodgson under a bit of pressure, and Palace sort of known admirers of Steve Cooper. So there's a bit of an odd dynamic at the moment.
Like in a holding zone at the moment.
We are a bit, and again, it feels a bit unfair to ask the players about the manager, and they're always probably going to say positive things. But I interviewed Nico Williams afterwards, did Kulusevski from Spurs, and then Nico Williams from Forest. And again, he was so effusive about Steve Cooper. I mean, the answer was well in excess of a minute long, just talking about how much the fans love him, the players absolutely love him, and he said it's just a dip, but one win in 13.
Yeah,
it feels more than a dip, unfortunately.
You say you interviewed Kulusevski. I'm amazed he can stand up the amount of running he does after that. But also, what did he have to say? And also, is there any news on Brennan Johnson? Some talk that Postecoglou said after the game it was just a cut and not a concussion. Do you know anything about that?
It was a concussion sub, we were told by the club. That he's got basically a huge gash on the top of his head. But I didn't get a chance to listen to the manager's comments afterwards. But yeah, we were told by the club it was a concussion sub. So yeah, hopefully fine. Kulusevski, he was great. It was a nice sort of wry smile on his face when I pointed out all the good things going on in his life at the moment. Goal, assist, baby on the way, first baby for him on the way, which was nice. And he said, because I was looking at the stats ahead of it, and he's been creating a lot of chances for you, like 36 going into this, but just like the one assist.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't really do any more. But it helps that you've got Richarlison playing basically an authentic number 9, just staying between the posts. And, that cross was absolutely something.
Beautiful.
It was sensational.
Even Jake Robson would have scored that.
So that was fantastic. And then the goal, he said he feels his right foot is underrated.
Right.
I mean, I felt when I watched it back, it looked like he was sort of looking in the opposite. It was almost like a no look
Finish.
swinging shot.
I hadn't noticed that.
Now, whether that was deliberate or not, I'm not sure. But obviously,
Don't know if you can hit the ball that hard without looking at it.
Nice, leathered it.
Yeah. Obviously, keepers had a difficult night.
What's left for you for this weekend, Rob? You got another game, or is it a long trip back to the southwest?
No, I'm heading up to the northwest,
City.
to the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City against Crystal Palace. So not back down to Somerset, the hotbed of Premier League football where we live. People always sort of are surprised by my journey times, or whenever I speak to people about work. I say, well, it is on us really. We chose to live in Somerset. So we were aware going in that it's not really the place to be for Premier League football. But it's why I appreciate nights like this. You know, the atmosphere, the quality that we saw tonight, and I think that was crucial because, as I say, Forest had a couple of chances that of Spurs' own design in that first half. Forest didn't put them away, and Spurs did. They punished him.
Rob, we'll let you go. So, did you have another question, Gaz?
No, I was just, well, very, very quickly. That Palace City game is one that's thrown up results in the past.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Because Palace seem to do them a couple of times. Palace are like a city like what we are.
Yeah,
They're
a
like
little
their
bit.
kryptonite, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think Palace were the last team to stop them scoring at the Etihad in the Premier League, but that was ages ago, and that was when Palace had a full contingent, and I do worry for them slightly tomorrow, given that suddenly City have got players back. They look strong. I mean, obviously that comeback win against Luton, Palace seem to be treading a bit of water. They've got so many absentees for tomorrow, so you do sort of worry for them a little bit, but. Like you say, I do remember Andros Townsend scoring that.
One of the greatest ever Premier League goals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What a strike.
So, you never know.
Rob,
enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy that. Rob, we'll let you go before they switch the floodlights off and you can't get out. I've actually been locked in a football stadium in the Netherlands once, so don't do that. Rob, enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cheers, Rob.
Really appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.
No worries. Lovely to be on.
Thanks Rob. Cheers. Bye.
Take care.
Brilliant,
fantastic stuff. Yeah. Where else do you get such hot off the press insight from a football stadium?
An echo of glory is the place to go.
Right here, right now.
So we've had a fan on who's been at the game. Now Rob is reporting for the Premier League, so that was great to talk to.
And we've had 3 clowns who sat in this studio watching the game. What more could you want?
A couple of messages while we were talking to Rob. Don't think Nick Spear is too happy with the ref, but anyway. Mo Hashim, we're on back-to-back wins. Big up to the team. Wasn't quite pretty though. Absolutely, 3 points in the bag. Couldn't ask for more. Singapore still awake. Almost sunrise.
Mo Hashim, you can come
Ali
again.
Min Son, I'm loving that.
What?
Cool as
sexy.
Cool is sexy.
It's after 9 o'clock. You can say that.
Ali Min Son, you can come
Stomp City, who we've learnt is from Australia. Awful game of football. Forest are the antidote to enjoyment.
I'll tell you who else.
Oh, he's from Oz, is he, old Stomp City?
Yeah.
Very
I'll tell
good.
you who else was one questionable moment, but Vicario again was sensational. It was a bit of a weird save when they were offside in the first half.
Yeah.
You know that little flappy.
No, it wasn't offside in the end. Remember?
It was handball. It was handball. Yeah. It was handball. That was a weird one, but the save at 2-0 in about 85th minute with his legs from the corner. I think it was a corner. For the life of me, that was a goal. I can't believe how he kept that out.
Can I just say, Mo Hashim, not only has he stayed up to watch the game, but he stayed up to watch us.
I think he stayed up to watch the sunrise.
I was about to say. Definitely watching that.
No, he stayed up to watch us. Round of applause to Mo Hashim all the way.
Mo, we want to know what's prettier, the sunrise or
Gary
or us?
Or 3 points. Nothing looks better than 3 points.
So 1-0, they did equalise offside. Took a while. They stuck that blue and green line on the old VAR, which made you worry. But he was
when
offside.
that blue line went. So I don't know how it works. Okay,
Neither do I.
because that blue line. No, neither do they. That blue line came up, and I was like, they're giving it. I can't believe they're giving it. And also on that, at what point is somebody interfering or not? Because the 2 players that were very clearly offside both went towards the ball. So are they not interfering?
Yeah, I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew.
I think they'd have given a goal if Elanga was
That's
on.
what I'm saying. If he had been onside, I think they give the goal. But the two players that were very clearly 5 yards offside moved towards the ball. At what point are they not interfering?
Sodom didn't count.
Sodom.
And then we score a second goal.
I like the analysis that we put in on this show. It's top class.
Sodom.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
Sodom.
you can't sit here and overanalyze offsides that weren't. I mean, at the end of the
No,
day,
that's what I want to know what the rule is.
yeah.
That's what
Johnny's
I'm
the
asking.
rules, man.
James, can we see the second goal? Our reactions.
Gone to sleep.
Go on.
Do you know who we need here? We need Mo.
Fuck off, Duna! Fuck off! Come on!
Is it just us without the sound?
Beep.
That's
beep,
done the
beep,
algorithm.
Beep. Beep.
Oh,
But apart from the swearing, what you will hear, I'm gonna big myself up here. I said a few times in that game, and even there, Matt Turner hates the ball at his feet. Sonny
did,
closed
yeah.
it. Thank you. Sonny closed him down so quickly. I just had a message from Rob. Forgot to mention that Rob was a fleeting Spurs fan. Forgot to bring it up. I should get him back.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
skip Rob Scanlon.
Yeah, he says he's a Spurs
I
fan.
had no idea.
Anyway,
we should definitely get him back on.
We closed him. We closed him down so quickly. Matt Turner's awful with his feet. Did it a couple of times in the second half. First half, we've done it at other games. I remember at Anfield, he did it, and at Craven Cottage. I think they dropped him because of how bad he was with his feet. Goes to Kulusevski, and bang! Before you know it,
But
2-0.
as we said during the game, that's another goal. Okay, this one was given to us, but how many goals have we had this season already where we've won the ball up in the opposition's third? We had it Sheffield United, Fulham,
Burnley
but
away.
you said Burnley away. Okay, this one they gave to us, but
But
you
we
know,
put
this-
it. We put the pressure on.
put the
yeah,
pressure on.
Son closing on. I'd like to have just a quick shout out to Nick Sinclair, who reminded me that Matt Turner, upon signing for Arsenal, refused to sign a Tottenham fan shirt and was
yeah.
overheard calling it disgusting. So, cheers, Matt Turner.
Karma has come
3
back.
points. Thank you very much.
Ali Min Son's been on. Another loser Gooner keeper. Never forgive him. There you go.
There you
Never
go.
forgive him
Yeah.
for shunning a kid with a Spurs
There you
shirt in
go.
America.
There you go.
Good timing, Ali.
Ali Kinson, a.k.a. Nick Sinclair.
Kai says we were great in that spell after their offside goal. Yeah, that was the first time, probably since about the 10th minute, that we actually had a little bit of possession, but we didn't create many chances, did we?
Nah, but I think also by the time Johnson's gone off, Kulusevski, we're basically not really playing with a 10. You've got to remember that part. Because Johnson's gone off,
Yeah.
Kulusevski's then gone out. We're looking at Skip going, and neither one of us could work out who was going to play as a 10, whether it's going to be Skip, was it going to be Bissouma. Let's face it, none of them are really 10s. So you just lost creativity. We were obviously...
We need Lo Celso back.
We had
against
11...
Everton.
Well, he should be back, I think, for
No,
Everton.
it's a niggle. That's 6 weeks at Tottenham Hotspur.
No, I think he'll be back.
It's an interesting substitution, that Skip one, because the natural sub would have been Brian Hill.
Yeah.
What to play as a 10?
You said at the time.
To play in the middle.
No, Kulusevski 10, Hill wide.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he's brought on Skip.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's because he didn't want Son on the right, or
Forest are very physical side though
Richarlison.
as well, so I don't. He probably just as that as a matchup. Hill,
but
That
hang on,
says,
but
that
hang
says
on.
it all too.
who's he playing? You know, they've got
But
Murillo,
this is the
like
point. I mean,
Yates,
if Brian Hill couldn't come on in that scenario,
Mangala,
if Brian Hill can't come on in that scenario, the guy's done.
maybe.
What? So then, but then the question comes: why even put him on the bench? And I actually said, and you said it's not the game for him, but I think players make their name. They stand up or they don't.
You did say this.
And I said when Johnson came off, I said, bring on Donnelly. Right, he's on the bench. Why have you got him on the bench? He's not a bum on a seat, right? And I get it's a big game. It's a big game. It's a big game to bring Donnelly on.
You can keep talking. I'm not going to agree with you.
No, fine. But I'll make my point here, right?
You're welcome
I think kids come on in games like these, and they turn into men, and they
So
stand
angry,
up.
I'm taking my earpiece out.
And they stand up, and we see what they're made of. Now,
No.
I just think that he would have disrupted the formation less than Skip, who came on. The midfield got lost. Skip was anonymous. It just was so disjointed, whereas at least Donnelly comes on. You can kind of keep that shape a little bit, give the kid the experience, and see what he's made of.
I don't know. I think
At what point? What value do you think? What value do you think Skip brought that Donnelly couldn't tonight?
I don't necessarily think you're wrong, but I think in terms of what we've seen, well, certainly the way Pep likes to do it, they like to get these guys in and around the squad, give them like a few. He came on, didn't he?
That.
You sort of give them a little bit at a time,
Okay,
and
so
I think it keep they. I'm not saying it's right, but I think that's just the way it seems that they like to do it.
Look,
keep them hungry. Building the experience.
But this is the point. If Hill isn't coming on in that scenario,
but also it was quite a long time. Also, the other thing was
it was a long time left in the
it was
game.
quite a long
that.
time.
I understand that. I get all of that. Donnelly
I'd
was
like to see him play against
Donnelly
Burnley.
would have
How
been
about
the
that?
wild card. Donnelly would have been the wild card. But if you want to keep the shape and keep the attacking intention, then surely Brian Hill is the substitution. What it says to me that he didn't bring him on
maybe.
is that he's lost all faith and confidence
absolutely.
in Brian Hill.
Absolutely.
So the geezer's got to go at this point.
Well, we need bodies at the moment.
Poor Jimmy.
What's the point? I mean, they're literally, that subs bench is bums on seats. It literally was. What is Brian Hill doing there if he's not going to come on? What is Jamie Donnelly doing there if he's not going to come on? And I'm sorry, I think there's a point with somebody like Donnelly. He's got huge talent and ability. He's not a small lad. I reckon he can take a hit and stand up in a game like that.
1-0 away from home with 17 minutes to go is not that time. We're moving on because I don't want to talk about that anymore. I think he's going to be a top player from what you hear, but no. Do you want some stats? Some match stats?
They've sent them to you, have they?
No. Jesus.
We've done it. We've done it 2 episodes in a row. We've pulled the curtain down from behind.
Absolute savage.
Do you want them or not?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
You can go. There are other pods where they don't do the stats.
That's why I'm here.
Or get Rob Scanlon on,
I'm
or
here.
Julian nearly running over a Forest fan. There are other
That was
podcasts
good.
out there.
Do you imagine that if he'd actually done that, Julian?
Maximum respect.
Respect. Visit him, would you? Right. I'm going to read you the actual match stats themselves. 15 shots, Forest, 1 on target. Yeah. It felt like Vicario made a load of saves. I think a couple of them were flagged offside, so wouldn't have counted. So actually, the only registered save was the really good one with his feet.
The poor Vicario. He's pulled up a couple of worldies, and they'll never see the light of day.
The one in the first half where I can't remember who it was on theirs.
It's not a save. It's a flap.
No, when he went through, he was offside, but he went straight down his throat. But he was strong and he stood up.
So the one legitimate save was the one with his feet, I'm guessing. Is that the one?
That was a hell of a
good save, though.
So we had 12 shots, 6 on target. XG, 1.53 Spurs, 1.5 Forest.
So how did Forest have one shot? Because there was that
wide,
one.
missed chances wide.
They had a couple of,
But in terms of actually,
So they had
Bowley
that
put one
Bowley
over,
one
didn't
at the beginning of the second half.
Exactly.
of all the players we wanted it to fall to, he was the right guy.
There's a Cora moment.
A couple of Tottenham-related stats. Spurs have scored in 15 consecutive away league matches for the first time since a 16-match run between November '84 and August '85.
Records that I was talking about with Anne.
It's
It's
not a record.
It's
a Premier League record.
No,
It's a Premier League.
it's a Premier League record.
Thank you.
Dejan Kulusevski is the first Spurs player. There's a little quiz coming here. To both score and assist in consecutive away games in the Premier League. So he's the 4th Spurs player to do so. To score and assist in consecutive away games in the Premier League. Name the other 3.
Rafa van der Vaart, Christian Eriksen.
David Ginola.
0 points.
For me.
All of you.
Really?
Let's put it out there to the people. Come on.
The question again.
The question again. Dejan Kulusevski is the 4th Spurs player to both score and assist in consecutive away games in the Premier League after who?
Harry Kane.
You're going to get there before our viewers do. Correct. Bale is wrong. Kane and Son are correct. So you've got one player. Well, Nick Spear has read the stats. Berbatov.
Berbatov.
We got there, though.
Well done, Nick Spear.
Pretty quick.
So no, we've got 3.
Berbatov, Son, Kane and Kulusevski.
Fair enough.
Yes.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Richarlison has scored in back-to-back Premier League appearances for the first time.
Can we
since
talk about that
May.
header?
Yeah, we can.
Because I think it's
Allowed.
underrated. I mean, the cross has been spoken about, world-class cross. But that...
I mean, it's unreal.
Thanks, James. Here we
You
go.
can see it here.
Put his elbow in his mush. That's the ball.
Yeah. That was a big goal. That was a proper number 9 header. And
You said to me, do you still stand by this? Son doesn't score that.
Correct.
No, you just had to get your head.
I
around
knew
it.
what you meant by that. Rishi's got that kind.
I don't
he's got
think
that-
Son is following that in. I don't think he's putting his body on the line. He's risking taking the hit from the keeper as well as the centre
I
back.
feel I've seen Son score that.
No, he
Limbs in the
scored headers
studio.
at the far post. I think that's a proper number 9 header, and I've got to give credit. And also,
great
by the way, on Richie's performance, he's not a technically wonderfully
not a
gifted
Berbatov.
footballer. No, he's definitely not a Berbatov. But he worked hard for the team today. He won the ball back a number of times.
Yeah.
He chased hard, and he got his head in where it hurts to
Yeah.
get us a crucial goal.
Yeah.
Well played, Richie.
Got another stat which comes with another quiz if you want it.
Yeah, go on.
It's not Spurs related. Well, the stats
Well, what's
Spurs
it to do
related,
with
but
that?
the answers, I've lost it now, are not all Spurs related. Dejan Kulusevski, or Kulusevski, was it?
Kulusevski.
Kulusevski has assisted 17 goals in the Premier League, the 5th most of any player since his first start in 2022. So,
Never guessed
4 players have more assists than him since his debut in the Premier
Never
League.
getting this.
Sonny is incorrect, James.
No, it's not Spurs related. So
One of them is a Spurs player now, and three of them are not Spurs players.
So Maddison.
Correct. With 19.
I don't know. That's
The
tough.
answers are Saka, De Bruyne. Yeah, Clissold's got Maddison, KDB,
Yeah.
and Salah and Saka. Look at that from Sydney Duke.
Good show in chat, lads. Off to the beach for a swim.
Oh, he's off the beach for a swim.
I mean, he's rubbing it in there, isn't he? The sun cream.
James, you weren't in the office. You weren't in the room there earlier when we had a viewer from Malaysia, and we talked about doing a sort of not a road show, but a trip abroad, and maybe doing an Echo of Glory abroad, Malaysia, Sydney. Does the budget stretch?
If you can get 10,000 viewers on the live,
10,000.
take you to one of those destinations.
Wow.
10,000 viewers on the live.
10,000 viewers on a live.
How many have we got right now, James?
About 100.
So we have got 2 times this by 10,000.
All right. One day.
One day.
Is there a time limit
Guys.
by the end of the season?
Tell your friends, yeah?
By the end of the year,
Oh, it kind of thickens. How do you guys have access to Carragher and people like that? Are you journalists? Do we need to dispel the myth?
I think we've got to go.
I
We
bumped
are
into
still-
Jamie Carragher one night at a hotel, and he was singing "I'm like a bird, I only fly away." And
That's a great story. Go and do that. Listen to that story in the episode with Jamie Carragher before the Liverpool
And that's
game.
how we met.
Is that up on YouTube? No, the clip on its own.
Actually, yes, it's a short. Jake and I do work in the football media industry, so we've been very lucky to. Gary's gone. Gary's gone to get another beer.
Gary's gone.
We've been lucky to ask favours of these people, and they've come on. If you're going to listen on Tuesday, we've got Lee and Osman on Tuesday before the Everton game. And these guys are great, and they're happy to talk, and we're very lucky to have them on. So that's how we get them on, kind of, yeah. Industry friends, shall we say.
Friends. Ooh, football friends.
So am I outdone the stats yet? Tottenham have been shown 4 red cards. 4 red cards in the Premier League this season, the joint most of any team with Liverpool. Udogie, Romero, Basuma twice, yeah. 2 of those have been shown to Basuma, making him the 7th player to be sent off twice in a single Premier League season, and the first since who in 2014-15. You're never going to get it.
Sorry, say it again.
Yves Basuma is the 7th Spurs player to be sent off twice in a single Premier League season, and the first since which
Zakora.
player in 2014-15?
Not Zakora.
If you get this in 5 guesses, I'll be absolutely stunned. I wouldn't have got it.
15. Not Palacios. No, I'm not
Kabul.
going to get this.
Walker.
Danny
Okay,
Ray.
someone's read the stats.
Carl Norton.
It's Kai has got it right. Carl Norton.
Carl Norton.
Well done, Kai.
I vaguely remember that.
But where's he reading the stats? Maybe he just knows.
You can find. Yeah, maybe he's just a genius.
Maybe he just knows his stuff, Johnny.
Yeah, you're right.
Kai, be
Sorry,
serious.
Kai.
Did you actually look it up, or did you know?
he's just Googling it as he says it.
West Ham.
Oh,
West Ham
Sky
was
said
right.
it.
Sky
Sky
said
said it.
Sky said
You
it.
Busted.
cheeky buggers.
Busted.
And here we are.
They're obviously getting the same stats email.
He was sent off in Poch's first game away to West
Busted.
Ham. I
Yes.
think it was handball on the line.
And that was Eric Dyer.
And then he was sent off in a 2-1. Oh, I remember that.
Kai-
2-1 home defeat to Stoke.
Kai's been busted by Clissold 08. basically.
Wow. Guys digging each other out.
I think these are the end. That's the end of the stats. Hang on, any more here? Yeah. Well, this was the second match in the Premier League this season. See both teams start unchanged from their previous game. That's not going to happen. To
Should we
Spurs.
talk about Everton and what we line up as?
Well, we'll do that on.
Well, you're not here.
Well, no,
Well,
but
as in,
while we're here, while we're live, while we're discussing and while we're thinking about the consequences of this game, because it is a big 3 points, but it's come at a price. So we know that Udogie's out.
Can
we
I
know
give you
that
another stat
Basuma
first,
is
by
out.
the way? We're top of the away league table this season.
Go on, really? Well, I mean, we've played more away games than anybody, surely.
No.
No,
Really?
9 along with City, Arsenal. Arsenal played 8, Liverpool 9.
By the way,
And we
the
lost away from home, apart from Wolves.
Once.
on the
And Wolves,
discipline issue,
doesn't count.
Wolves doesn't count.
Well, as in, like, that was just an odd game, wasn't it? It was 4 days after Chelsea,
Yeah.
decimated team, and we led for the most amount of minutes a team has ever led in a Premier League game, didn't
There's
we?
your records.
You know, there's your records.
I told you it was
breaking
Less
records.
injury
Eh,
time,
left,
and we
right,
win
and
that.
centre.
We win that game, or at least we draw.
But
So
then the
we-
Sheffield United game, less injury time, we don't win it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should've
but
won that game
that's
on
nothing to
night.
do with our away records. So
On the discipline thing, I think it's interesting that, and again, I don't like to compare us to them up the road, but they had big problems with discipline in Arteta's first couple of seasons, if I remember right. And I think it is,
Trying to impose yourself. We're here. We're
Yeah,
yeah,
strong.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah,
You did
and,
say that.
and you are sort of, you're pressing the game and so on. And I think you just have to get a bit cuter. And even now, I think outside of City, Liverpool have disciplinary problems. Arsenal have disciplinary problems. If you're going to play this way, I think you're going to. But a lot of it is self-inflicted. Romero self-inflicted. Basuma self-inflicted. If Sarr had gone tonight for that second booking, Jesus, that would have been beyond absolutely beyond. But
Can I read you what Kulusevski said about Postecoglou tonight?
yeah,
It's amazing. This is about playing under Ange. It's amazing. Training is so fun, and I really like Ange Postecoglou as a guy. If I would choose my football, this is the football. Attack, combine a lot, and very fun training sessions. We don't play to lose, but we play to win. We're very positive and we want to get better every day. We still lack something mentally, but I think football-wise, we're there at the top. I think that's spot on.
happy days.
very interesting.
And mentally, I think that comes into that's possibly a nod at our discipline. So we've got players, like we said, walking a tightrope again. It's just a spiral of changes. I know we were unchanged today, but it's going to start again. We've got 2/3 players out for
But
Everton.
Lascelles should be back.
Should he be back?
I think he should be back. They said it was a knock, didn't they? He was close. He only just missed out on this game, and I think it sounds like Everton's. That's now
8 days.
8 days. It sounds like it was just a bang to the head. I don't know. Rob said he didn't know, but
You dissing our reporter?
no, he said he didn't know. So
But
let's see.
Romero went off for a concussion and was back the next game.
Yeah. So that's
just
what I'm
because
saying.
you
There's
go off for a
there you go.
concussion
So
doesn't mean-
that's what exactly it. 'Cause
So a
then they have
concussion
another-
sub doesn't necessarily mean they have concussion.
Correct.
It's just a potential.
Yeah. Bang to the head. So maybe a suspicion of concussion. Then they have tests further on. That's all. So
Ali Minson, anyone else notice Richarlison's demeanour? He smiles. Yeah, he's happy. He's scoring goals. And I agree, Ali. I like that Kulusevski said mentally and footballly. Didn't see that. Okay, Everton. Big game in my house. My wife is an Everton fan. We death taxes and beating Everton. They are the team we have beaten most in the Premier
Remind
League.
us what your cats are called?
no.
Teddy.
Not
Teddy, after Teddy Sheringham. The old cats, Ozzy and Dixie. After Ozzy Ardiles, Dixie Dean.
yeah.
Yeah, they've long gone.
Literally.
Yeah. Long
Oh,
gone.
sorry.
Got that's okay. Don't
Oh,
worry,
awkward.
don't worry
Didn't
about
realise.
it.
Jeez.
Got Teddy now.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. So we tend to beat Everton most of the time we play them. This year is going to be very different. We're going to talk to Leon Osman on Tuesday, which will be great. And they've had that points deduction, and that spurred them on. But you can't spurring you on. Passion's not going to get you out of this. They're playing pretty well. So how do you think we're going to line up?
Firstly,
Well, Big Vic's going to be in goal
With his one save from this
with
week.
his one save.
this is what they come here for. This kind of insight.
Well, I think Romero.
Vic will be in goal.
We called him Romero again, haven't we?
Emerson.
Emerson's going to be back. I imagine to play at centre back alongside Romero.
Well, you say that. No, he won't.
So he'll play.
Davies will play left back.
No, I think he'll play Emerson left back.
Yeah, I think he will actually, because you've got to keep that consistency
Yeah.
between. Who played left back against Wolves?
Emerson.
Yeah,
But Romero wasn't there.
he's
So it's Davies and Dyer, wasn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
God, Dyer was on the bench today. I don't think you make two changes when only one is necessary. Emerson can play left back.
And he's good on the ball.
I think Emerson will be left back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And Everton aren't going to come at us. So it's not as though, we need. Look, if there's a game that I would rather Udogie didn't miss any games, but if there was a game that he was going to miss,
Everton at home.
it's probably not a bad one for him to miss.
Midfield 3. Well, I think it'll be a 2. I think if Lo Celso's fit, it will be Højbjerg and Sarr.
Do you know what I'd like to see?
Skip what?
You're like dreading it already. I think Sarr could be a 6. And
definitely.
And I'd like to see him in the 6 with Lo Celso and Kulusevski.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll be. And if Johnson's fit, he plays right.
Yeah, if Johnson's fit.
Son left and Richarlison through the middle.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Go on. What?
Would you
Oh,
say?
yeah.
But Bissouma's out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you said... sorry, yeah,
So
exactly.
Sarr in the 6.
So you got Sarr...
Sarr, Lo Celso, Kulusevski.
If Lo Celso's fit and if Johnson's fit, then that's how it
If Lo
goes.
Celso and Johnson are
Yeah.
fit, then
Sticking
that
with the
would be my
4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's Sarr and Lo Celso
Yeah.
as the 2.
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the team.
And then you still
Gary,
got...
you don't want to start Donnelly or
I'll tell you. I can tell you 2 players I don't want to
Skip
start.
and Højbjerg?
Yeah.
Well, they'll both be on the bench.
Well, but
benches-
that's the point. Is
and then,
or Jimmy
that
Hill.
there is a danger that one of them
And then
may
what happens
start.
when you look at our bench?
Yeah, because
exactly.
there's no one due to come back.
No.
I mean, Jamie
No,
Donny
that's
is the
it.
first sub.
Yeah.
It is. Can we have your stat, by the way, about Alejo Veliz?
He touched the ball once today.
Yep.
Which means he's now touched the ball 9 times in 5 games for Tottenham. under two a game.
I thought you were going to say he was throwing it back for somebody to
This is,
throw in.
by the way, for anybody watching, this is not sarcasm against Alejo Veliz. I think he's going to be a top player, but I just love the stat.
Yes.
Like,
Unfortunate for him,
it's
though, he
just a
comes on
fantastic
literally
player.
as the final whistle.
There's a little short corner play to him. He touched the ball, the last ball of the game, and we said straight away, was that his 5th touch in 8 games?
He's had 9 more
Bless him.
touches for Spurs than I ever will.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good luck to him.
Fair enough.
So there we go.
It's been good.
Live show.
Done and dusted.
We're not going to go out and watch the sunrise. We're not going to go swimming in Bondi, wherever it is Sydney Spur is from. All we are going to do is go back out into the ghetto of North West London. I'm going to have to
So-
drive Gary home.
I'm not driving.
Last time I drove you home, Gary, I had to let you out because you were too drunk.
What?
Yeah, exactly. You don't remember it. Connor Thickens, thanks for having a beer with me, guys. See you. Connor,
Cheers, Connor.
thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. You're not here Tuesday, are you?
I'm not.
Where are you going?
I don't know. It's a
Cliff,
surprise.
nice one, boys. Good show. Coys.
Wife's said I booked
Girl's
somewhere
gonna
for us to go. Don't know.
Is it your birthday?
Yeah, I hope so.
No.
mate.
Christmas present.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But on
I'm
a
work-
Tuesday. When
Well, I'm working a
when we
lot over
record.
Christmas, so... Yeah, I know. She should have known, shouldn't she?
Okay.
Spa break?
I really don't know. Echo of Glory, though,
What
should
are
have...
you hoping for?
That's for another show.
Prediction for Everton, because you're not going to be here?
Everton at home, I think we're going to win 3-1.
Okay.
Say that every time, no?
Yeah. All right, Gary, you're going to be here on Tuesday. We're going to be joined by Jamie B. Coys from Daily Hotspur. We're going to have Leon Osman on the phone. It's going to be a good one.
The blower.
Thank you for our 3rd live show, because we had one last week,
Yeah.
one pre-game, 3 points.
Very good.
Happy?
Yeah, very happy. Let's do it again.
Got to be happy with 3
Coins.
points.
All right, Coys. Listen, thanks for joining us, all your comments, and up the Spurs, and we will see you Tuesday.
Here now. I mean, it is unreal that Udogie's been booked and he's put his elbow in his mush. That's good book. Yes! Yes! Go on, Richard! What a ball in that was!
No, we're doing the pressing.
Go on. Go on!
Under pressure,
Gentle with his feet.
and you don't want to do that with Kulusevski around.
Yes! Yes! Yes!